Do you often feel frustrated when you see a group of girls, but you don't really know how to approach them in a group setting? I mean, if there's one girl there, okay, you can make up the courage to go and speak to her, but when there's a group, the whole dynamic's different. Do you speak to one of them? Do you speak to all of them? How does it actually work? So in today's infield breakdown, I want to show you me approaching three different girls. I end up isolating one of the girls. We end up kissing within about 15 minutes of meeting, and I want to break down three distinct sections of it today. So let's jump straight into the video and we'll break it down as we go along here.
For sure, quickly.
Okay, so it's almost like this interaction, I would say, is won in the first 60 seconds. I do some good strategy things later on, like moving the girl, how to move a girl correctly, but really it's won inside the first minute. So even listen there, like as I walk in, this is my first approach. Okay, I must admit it. Not all the times are the approaches this good. You know, just like in anything, you can have good days and bad days. This was more of a good day. Okay, I was feeling good. I walk in, I see these three girls. I say to the cameraman, I'm like, hey, quickly, because sometimes the cameraman will miss this. So it's like, I'm eager. I'm not like standing there needing 20 minutes to like build up my courage. No, I'm in there and ready to go.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. The question is, are we having fun tonight or wandering?
Okay, yes.
Okay, so let's break down that opener. I just walk up to these girls and I just say, the answer's yes. And they like look at me like confused, like, what? I'm like, the answer's yes. And they're like, what's the question? And I'm like, are you having a good time tonight? Now, I've had many guys try copy that opener. They're like, the answer's yes opener. And they go out there and it fucking bombs 9 times out of 10 because I am a big believer in structure, and what you say is important. This is where my dominance, my leadership, my don't give a crap what they think about me is way more important than what I'm saying. Trust me, go try that opener this weekend. The answer is yes. And if you don't match it with the vibe, the interactions are going to crash and burn. Okay. So this is when you aren't intimidated by women, you have areas of your brain that open up so you can think of things to say. Now, this isn't exceptionally witty or clever or anything like that, but it's just like when you're talking to your 10-year-old niece, you don't run out of things to say. Why? Because you're not intimidated by her. But when you see a bunch of girls, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't think of anything to say. It's because your self-image is placing the girls on a pedestal. This is where they say, don't put a woman on a pedestal. It means don't think you're so much below the woman. You don't think you're below your niece, so you never run out of things to say. So I don't think I'm below these women, so that's why I'm coming in with these things. Now, some guys might be like, well, it's not that great opener. Look how it unfolds here, though. Let's keep going.
Okay, well, what did you think it was going to be? She was like, I don't know.
Okay, so they kind of look at me and I'm like, oh, you're having a good time tonight? And they're like, oh, yes. And I just assume it. Like, I don't often do this. I wouldn't advise you do it, but you can see I'm touching one of the girls on the shoulder. Like, I only met her 5 seconds ago, but it's just that assumed rapport. I do it on an emotional high. I was like, what did you think I was going to say? And everyone, you can see the other girl, they laughing. I'm like, what did she think I was going to say? And everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. But it's just like, who is this guy? He's come in 10 seconds. He's making us laugh. He's touching me in not like a weird way. You'll see I let go as well. But it's just like, who is this guy in the first 10 seconds? This has nothing to do with my looks. This has nothing to do with how much money I make or don't make, which guys always get obsessed over this stuff. But you can learn these skills, what I'm doing right now.
I know where you're going with this, Tyler. I just heard all the accents, all US.
I'm US, Canada, and Sweden.
No way. She's the most un-Swedish looking girl I've ever seen in my life. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way.
So again, I'm just leading the conversation. I don't just sit in there and like, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm like, oh, I'm hearing the accents all US, like an assumption. I'm not asking a question. Then the one is like, I'm US, she's Canadian, this one's Swedish. I'm like, she's the most un-Swedish girl I've ever said. Nothing crazy, but it's just like, you'll see how this unfolds.
So how does a US, Canadian, and Swedish girl merge forces?
We don't volunteer, actually.
Yeah?
So it's kind of funny because I'm talking to the group and there's three girls. No offense, like the one opposite me and the one on the left are like both pretty cute. I really like the one opposite me. I like her look. But no offense, this one I'm talking to now, she was kind of like a bit of the unattractive one of the group. So when I like ask a question like, how do you guys all know each other? Like the two kind of hotter ones be quiet and they kind of like to the unattractive friend, like, hey, here's your turn, like speak up. But I don't just get stuck speaking to her the whole time. I lead the conversation back to the girl I want to speak to.
Yeah? Children or animals?
Children, hospital.
Interesting. Yeah. You two look like the sensible ones of the group, but her I'm not so sure about yet.
Okay, I wish you could see it. I had to blur out the videos just because you got to do that sometimes. But this is where, again, I'm like, you two look like the sensible ones. Her, I'm not so sure about. And her face is like, like, how could you say that, you know? And people be like, oh, this is like gimmicky stuff. But it just shows when you know how social dynamics work, it becomes very easy. I'm not doing anything complicated here. I'm like, kind of complimenting the two girls I'm not that interested in, and I'm teasing the one I am interested in. So what happens? She gets a big emotional spark in that process.
Lightweight and the libido is coming through.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to say it because it was so obvious, but now that you said it, it's fine. Yeah. What's your name?
Sarah.
I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you. And you guys are?
Philippa.
So it's also like there, it's like first I'm like kind of teasing her, like I'm not sure about you, you guys seem cool, I'm not sure about you, and then I'm like, what's your name? Again, you can't see it on the blur, but it's like showing interest and a little bit of teasing. That's what flirting is. It's this back and forth motion. Most guys don't know how to tease because they only give compliments all the time, which might sound nice in a Disney movie, but in reality, again, I don't even care what really works for one. I'm just showing you what really works in real life. This is just undeniable proof of what makes women tick.
Philippa and Kelsey. Nice to meet you guys. That's cool.
What's your name?
Daniel. Yeah. Is it that obvious?
Well, she lives here.
Okay, I was saying your accent's not very European.
It's just, I think it's a good mix of like,
How old are you? Yes.
I know. How old are you?
Okay, so this is something I'm doing. It's a little bit advanced. It's getting a little bright here. But I like ask her how old she is, and she says, guess, you know? So now I'm kind of like creating a little jealousy plot line here. Not really even jealousy, but it's like I take her other friend, the one next to me, and I'm like, is she, and I say, whatever, 23 or something. But now she's almost like, when someone's like telling a secret and you're not on the in, it's like, oh, like, wait, what's he saying? It creates this curiosity loop in her. So see how this plays out. Then I go to the other friend. Now I go to the other friend. So it's a bit of like a teasing. I'm not including her in the conversation. So she's like, wait, what about me? You know? She starts to chase because of it. See, it's funny. She even says there, it doesn't come up on the caption, but she's like, I don't like this secret keeping behind my back. It's like, yeah, well, it's funny because 10 minutes later I make out with you. But yeah, you really didn't like it, did you?
No.
Old or young?
So I actually like, I think I hold her by the shoulders and I'll be like, are you this thing? So it's like I've come in here not even 2 minutes in, I'm talking to these girls, they're laughing, I've touched this one, I've touched that one, I've held this one. It's just like I'm comfortable in that environment. This came from a lot of practice, like learning these structures, but you can learn this. Most guys, again, they're like, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not rich enough. They don't know how much money I make. In fact, I'm really broke in this video, making like $1,000 a month. So because I have social skills, I've developed mastery, those things don't matter as much.
For real?
Yeah. I'm really flattered though that you think that I'm a lot younger than that.
I know.
Lots of times, but no, I'm 24, turning 25.
So young. So young.
Okay, so how old are you?
So these are like basic disqualifiers here. She's like, I'm 24, turning 25. I'm like, so young, so young. What does she say? What do you mean? It's like I'm disqualifying her, and then she's chasing in even more. This is flirting 101 here.
So I get to guess too.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me. Go for it.
You can't actually see, but first she was like across from me and there was two girls on the side. Then her friend actually moves, so now she's standing next to me. Guys are always worried about getting cock blocked, which I kind of do at the end after I kiss her. But I've come in, I've established myself as the leader. They don't have to be like, hey, do you want to talk to my friend? They're just like, this guy is a badass, he's the leader. And they want to like offer their friend to me, okay? Not in some kind of sacrificial way, but it's just like, oh, he's cool. Versus when girls are trying to protect their friend, it's normally because they sense weakness in you.
22.
So you can see how I'm moving their emotions. Write this down, stick it on your fridge. Women want to feel. If you can't move a woman's emotions, you're dead to her. So right now, she's like trying to guess my age. She's like, I don't know, 25. I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, like she's laughing. I'm not even saying a joke, but she's in such reaction to me. And that's a good sign of value.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
So you're older.
Yeah.
A lot older.
38.
No.
Good moisturizer.
I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm 28. Is that more believable? How long have you been here?
Since last year. Yeah.
I think your friend's really cute. Is she cool?
Yes.
Is she really, or are you just saying that? How much did you pay?
Okay, so this is a good thing to say. Again, like I'm like, how long have you been here? We're talking about the city. Now she's talking to me. It's like I just create a new thread. I just like look at her friend and I'm like, hey, I think your friend's very cute. It's like because I've established myself as the leader, she already associates value with me from all the emotional reactions. Now it's fine if I show intent. I might not do that right in the beginning because they don't know who I am. But now I'm just like, I don't have any problem in my desire for this woman. Most guys are like, hey, you have a nice hairdress shoe. I'm just like, hey, I like your friend. And then again, I ask a qualifying question. I'm like, is she cool though? And then her friend's like, yeah, she is cool. And I'm like, are you just saying that because she's your friend? She's like, no, she is. And then I kind of tease her, yeah, I'm like, how much did you pay her? How much did you pay her? I'm just kind of messing around at this point and I'm having fun.
How much did you pay her? 100 US or 100 Canadian?
I promise, I am very, very
You, okay. What do you like to do for fun?
So at this point already in my head, I'm thinking move her away from the other girls just so we can have some more one-on-one time. So I'm asking her now, like, what do you like to do for fun? And if she says something cool, I'm going to give her a high five and I'm just going to move 2 meters to the side so we're more isolated. So she says, I think like skateboarding or something, like, wow, that's so cool. And then in that movement, I lead her away.
longboard.
No way, you do longboarding. Come here 1 second. Come here 1 second.
Okay. Yes.
You really do longboarding?
I do, back home though. Not around here, I didn't win mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're
What
from
else?
here.
What else? What else?
Okay, so again, that's how I did it. Even though she's walking away, she like looks at her friend and they just like, okay, cool, it's fine. I'll do a part 2 and part 3 because we have like a long conversation now. which gets really good and adds like more sexual tension. And then I move her inside, and then we end up like in this phone booth together, which is kind of a whole nother interesting story. So I hope you got some good takeaways from that. Let me know if you enjoyed that. Questions, comments, takeaways below, and I will see you in part 2. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. Okay, bye-bye.